Good morning, students of class 9. Welcome to your geography class. We will continue with chapter 4, that is geomorphic process and landforms of the earth. Before continuing with the chapter today, let us revise what had we studied in the previous class. So in the last class we had learned what is fold mountain and how are they created. Secondly, we learned what are tectonic plates. We learned that tectonic plates is not actually real but just an idea to understand how all the landform changes take place on Earth. Lastly, we had learned what is lithosphere and what are the layers of Earth that consist of lithosphere. In today's class, we'll be discussing about the plate tectonics theory. So first of all, before I make you understand this theory, you need to copy this down in your copy. In the exam, if it asks what is plate tectonic theory, you can write the definition of your book as well as the definition written over here. So first of all, plate tectonics theory dealing with the dynamics of Earth's outer shell, the lithosphere. So the outer shell of the Earth is a lithosphere that revolutionized Earth sciences by providing a uniform context. You don't have to copy this, okay? If you have copied this, then keep it, but you don't have to learn it. I made you write another definition of plate tectonics, and that was much easier. So this is just for understanding. It makes you understand what that plate tectonic theory is, an idea which deals with what, for understanding of mountain building process, volcanoes and earthquakes. So all these processes on the earth's surface, such as mountain building, volcanoes that erupt and earthquakes that take place, they are made easier to understand with the introduction of plate tectonics. Just as it is much easier to locate a place with the help of latitudes and longitudes, the process of mountain building and volcanoes and earthquakes is much easier to understand if we have the plate tectonics theory. Now, what is the theory exactly? The concept of plate tectonics was formulated in 1960s. According to the theory, Earth has a rigid outer layer known as the lithosphere, which is typically about 100 kilometers or 60 miles. So the depth of the lithosphere is 100 kilometers, means from the ground till the upper part of the molten or mantle, sorry, upper part of mantle, it's 100 kilometers, and there lies the lithosphere, and over lies a plastic, moldable, partially molten layer called the asthenosphere. So as you can see, lithosphere is just from the ground till the upper part of the mantle, and asthenosphere is over here. Means lithosphere lies above the asthenosphere. Okay. So next what happens, the lithosphere is broken up into seven very large continental and ocean sized plates, six or seven medium sized regional plates, and several small ones. Let us look at this, that how the scholars or geologists have divided the earth into plates. So it says about six or seven continental and oceanic plates. So you can see this is a very big continental oceanic plate. This is a continental plate. This is also a continental plate. Means more or less they are mixed continental and oceanic plates. Secondly, we have medium, such as the Indian plate, Arabian plate, Filipino plate, Nazca plate. You don't have to learn all this. This is just for your understanding. So it says that these are the plates that the earth has been divided into. Now, what happens? These plates move relative to each other due to the heat of the Earth's interior. These plates move, relative means these plates move close to each other due to the Earth's interior, typically at the rate of 5 to 10 centimeters per year. So they are moving at a very slow pace, basically 5 to 10 centimeter per year. That is negligible if it is seen in the lifetime of a person, but the changes that take place over hundreds of years or thousands or even lakhs of years is incredible. I'll explain how. So these plates are moving close to each other at the rate of 5 to 10 centimeter and interact along their boundaries where they converge, diverge or slip past one another. So you remember that the earth, before it was divided into continents, it was one supercontinent known as the Pangaea. Now this Pangaea had been broken down. Why? Due to the activities of the inside of the earth. Now these continents, when they have been broken, they are still they have still not stopped moving, and they still move. How do they move? They converge, means they two plates, they meet together. Second is they diverge. Two plates separate from each other or slip past one another. Means they just go side by side their own way. Means like they do not meet, not diverge. They just slip past one another. Means they just go side by side. Plate motions cause mountains to rise where plates push together or converge, and continents to fracture and oceans to form where plates pull apart. So when are mountains formed? Mountains are formed when the plates diverge. I'm sorry, converge means when the plates push together. When the plates push together, what happens? That is called converging. Then what happens? Mountains are formed. And when the continents are pulled apart, when the plates are pulled apart, this causes a fracture between the plates. For example, these plates, this plate was joining this, but when it pulled apart, what happened? There was a space left in between, which led to the formation of oceans. So the plates, when they push together, mountains are formed, and the plates, when they pull apart, oceans are formed. Or pull apart means diverge also. So the continents are embedded in the plates and drift passively with them, which over millions of years result in significant changes in Earth's geography. So the theory is that all the continents are embedded, all the continents sit on their respective plates, and the continents move when the plates move. Basically the continents are not moving, the plates beneath the earth's surface is moving, but the continent is attached to the plate, because of which the continents are also moving. Okay, now this you may copy for the formation of fold mountain. It is very important and very good explanation. When two tectonic plates collide, the denser plate moves down into the asthenosphere while the lighter plate climbs above it. On page number 56, if you see your diagram, you'll see that the diagram of formation of fold mountain on the basis of plate tectonics. What happens? See, the continental crust, which is a which has a strong lateral pressure, it moves down into the asthenosphere, and the other crust, which is slightly uh, lighter, what happened? It climbs above it. All right, the thicker crust, the thicker plate, it moves downwards into the asthenosphere, and the lighter crust, it moves above it. So a strong compressive force takes place which pushes the rock bed to form folds. So in this way, when both of these process happens, one crust going inside the ground and the other crust climbing above the other plate. What happens? A strong compressive force takes place, which pushes the rock beds to bend and form folds. So if they say how are fold mountains formed due to plate tectonic theory, then this is the answer. Okay, if I was to write a question, then how are fold mountains formed due to the plate tectonic theory? You can copy this down as a question and answer. Okay, so next we have characteristics of fold mountains. So let us discuss one or two of them. And although I don't have the diagram, I'll show you the diagram in your book is not very accurate. I'll show you another diagram. Symmetrical fold and asymmetrical fold. So the mountains which are formed by this plate tectonic theory. So basically a few types of mountains are formed. The one which is symmetrically fold, if you see in your book, symmetrically fold is the second diagram. All right, or you can also say that symmetrically fold is also the first diagram. The first diagram A, if you see A, the limbs of A are straight. When the limbs of the mountain are straight and they are in parallel with the ground, what happens? It is called a symmetrical fold. When the limbs are not straight, for example in the third diagram, they are a bit tilt and they do not meet the then and the highest point does not meet the ground at a straight angle, that is called a symmetric fold. If you did not understand this, I'll put a diagram in this tomorrow and you'll understand better with the help of that, so don't worry. However, if you haven't understood the plate tectonic theory or any part from it, then please email me at my email id, and we'll I'll try to make you understand in a better way the plate tectonic theory. So we'll keep it till here today, and tomorrow we'll continue with characteristics of fold mountains, and hopefully we'll also start volcanic mountains. Okay, so thank you so much and have a good day.